Wait, it looks like we have frame rate now. That actually looks okay. Why is it fixed? I don't know. Right? Does that look fast for everybody else? All right.
Personally, I think the Acropolis is one of, if not the, greatest place in all of Greece. Though, considering it was the project of my partner, Pericles, I may be a touch biased.
How old is Pericles? And why is he robbing the cradle?
The Acropolis of Athens is a bastion of art and culture worthy of the gods themselves. Within the citadel, you will find many important sacred buildings, as well as some of the most magnificent art in all of Greece. You are in for a very enlightening visit. When you're done, come find me, and we can discuss the things you have seen.
You know,
Farewell for now.
I've said this before in other games, but I hate this school of voice acting where, and it comes from bad movies, where like to communicate that you're in a different land, everybody has to talk like they can't speak properly, you know? They have to have some crappy accent. Like, just have it be a Greek person speaking good English with a slightly detectable Greek accent. Like, that would be way better than this hokey, terrible, like, fake-o fake. It's so bad, dude. It's like you're talking to stupid people all the time, is what it sounds like. I really, that's going to make me hate this if there's a lot of talking.
The Acropolis has gone through many changes in its
This is
long
better.
history. It began as a simple rock, was settled as early as the Neolithic period, and then became a fortress in the Mycenaean period. Stone buildings started.
All the actors have a British accent. That's better, though. If it's a good British
But the famous
accent,
structures
it's
whose
much
ruins
better.
remain visible today date mainly from a period of construction in the 5th century BCE. The location of the Acropolis is closely tied with Athens' foundation myth. Supposedly, it was the site where Athena and Poseidon competed for the city's patronage. This connection gave the Acropolis a sacred aura, and it was considered the religious heart of the city.
This is actually just like gameplay from an Assassin's Creed game because you go from thing to the next thing and it just checks them off. Dude, oh, come on. That is something they needed to have changed. I'm just trying to go by you, dumbass. Can you climb stuff? I'm sure you probably can. I don't know what the controls are, though. Like, spacebar doesn't seem to be jump, even. Maybe you can't. Climb up, it says shift. Maybe I just can only climb certain things. Why am I doing this to myself? Because it's interesting and I want to see what they do.
Was built on the remains of old
This is like how you find out what the potential of video games actually is.
Can be traced back to the 6th century BCE, but the building itself was destroyed during the Greco-Persian Wars a century later. It was rebuilt during the Peloponnesian War. Given that the name Athena Nike roughly means Athena of victory, it was likely constructed in the hopes that Athens would win the war. Unusually, the temple depicts historical scenes of battles against the Persians instead of the more mythologically inclined art of other Greek buildings. The temple's priestess was chosen randomly among the Athenians and received a salary of 50 drachmae annually, along with skins and trophies from sacrificed animals.
God, I hate that. Fucking. It's so inappropriate. What is that? Is this just a fixed viewpoint? See, the problem with the concept of this, and this is me just saying this a little bit early, right? I've hardly experienced that much. Wow, the perspective in this drawing is not good. I just noticed. Ugh. Anyway, did they actually warp a render or something? What did they do? Isn't it a photo? Maybe it's a warped photo. Yeah. It's just there's really weird stuff going on in it. Yeah, it looks like maybe it's a photo with extreme, what do you call it? When you squash the depth, right? Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, so what I was going to say is it's still... I mean, it looks like it started as a photo and then somebody drew over it to make it kind of painterly, you know? And the drawing over it has, or maybe they just ran a filter on it, like a Photoshop filter. You know what I feel like? I feel like this was a lower resolution image and they blew it up and then they tried to retouch it to enhance the resolution, and the retouching got the perspective even more wrong or something. Some stuff about this looks really weird. Anyway. Looks like all pictures posted by realtors on Zillow. Yeah, maybe there's a standard realtor filter and they just use that. It's just on the right. See this? Can I move my, yeah, over here? I don't know how that looks like to you on stream, but to me, this is so messed up. It's like the perspective is so squashed and the lighting is so flat. This, to me, almost looks concave. You know, it's like that messed up. And then, like this and this are like not quite parallel, even though they're supposed to be two flat. There's like lots of like, these are all supposed to be flat level surfaces, and like they just don't look parallel. Maybe even like this and this, right? Which I guess means this is way in front and at an angle, or just way in front, right? I don't know. It just, there's enough things going on how this has been modified that my brain just can't decode it, you know? And I don't like that. Like, I want to know how it looks. Anyway, so what I was going to say is, like, I like the idea of this. I like that they took Assassin's Creed and, like, did a tour out of it. The problem is, if I can tell so far, like if I can extrapolate from what I've seen so far, which admittedly is very little, it's going to just be like a boring tour, right? The way, just like you would have if you got like the little earphones at a museum or something, right? They modeled it on that, which is the wrong thing. What it should be is you just play a frickin' game with like missions, but the missions are like not running around killing people or something. It's just like finding out information and like meeting people and like something objective based where you learn about all this stuff because it helps you do what you're trying to do. Like that's the interesting version of this, but of course that would involve making a whole other game. But they should have done that. I mean, it wouldn't have to be nearly the same amount of stuff that's in the full Assassin's Creed game in terms of missions. It could be a smaller amount of stuff, but like, this is just the super boring version. So we'll see. We'll see how the talking to important historical figures goes. But again, it's very different. How do I exit this mode? It's very different talking to important historical figures when you have a good reason versus like, hello, I'm Socrates Johnson. And I say smart things.
During the Greco-Persian Wars. It was in the 5th century BCE, though, that the Acropolis received its most significant improvements. This period was an extremely prosperous time for Athens, both financially and culturally. With a booming economy bolstered by trade and the
This is just so boring, right?
Pericles, the leader of Athens,
It shouldn't be this boring. It's just super boring.
He enlisted the help of renowned artists, like the sculptor Phidias.
Here, hold on. We have to turn off the damn subtitles. That's probably part of why it's boring. How do I turn off subtitles? Language. We'll put that just in case.
As well as the architects Ictinos and Callicrates. Together, they erected buildings like the Parthenon.
You can't hear anything already. That's because you guys always tell me the game is too loud. Oh, also because I had it turned off. Sorry. Nobody ever said that. How am I supposed to know? That I saw. God, dude, don't do that. Fucking turn that aggressively bumping people shit off.
Behind the Propylaea was the giant bronze statue of Athena Promachos, or Athena who fights on the front lines. That name was reflected in the spear and shield the statue held in its hands. It was erected in the mid-5th century BCE by the artist Phidias. According to an inscription, It took 9 years to make and cost almost 500,000 drachmae. At approximately 10 meters tall, the statue was apparently so large that Pausanias claimed its helmet and spear tip could be seen from the sea near Cape Sunion, 60 kilometers away. The ornamentation on the statue's shield was engraved by the metalsmith Nice.
Wait. That's more than 10 meters. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. She just said more than 10 meters high? Are you kidding me? I mean, I guess if you measure starting at that platform there, which I guess you would, but still, that's more than 10 meters. I think they took some license in terms of how big they made it. They think people playing this tour are not going to understand what 10 meters is. I knew that looked too big, even from outside. I was like, that looks like some shit from Game of Thrones. That doesn't look real, and it doesn't. It's too big. Dev size, yeah. I mean, maybe it really was 20 meters. 20 is more than 10, but yeah, no, that just seems unrealistically big. So, like, fuck this game, dude. I mean, just that part, it's so... That annoys me even in regular Assassin's Creed games, but when you have tour mode, just turn that off. My character is kind of short. I do feel kind of short, don't I? Well, I am playing a lady for some reason. That's what it... maybe that's the main character in this game. Look at that! I'm like 5'2". I guess I'm getting the virtual 5'2" person simulator. Why do I hate this game so much? I hate every time it makes me shove somebody to the side because I'm trying to just do a tour here. And look, if you're not going to give the player reasonable controls to navigate with, which you can't when it's WASD, then don't act like it's the player's fault for being an asshole when they're just trying to walk around as best as they can with the tools you gave them. Like, don't have them shoving people all the time and pretending like it's the players who's clumsy. No, it's you who's clumsy because you gave them WASD to walk around with. So you should go shove yourself and go to yourself every day when you're at work and just don't do that to the player. You know what I'm saying? You guys are saying, how else would I do it? Just don't do it like every other game. No other game does this. What do you mean, how else would I do it? No other game makes you shove people everywhere you go. That's just Assassin's Creed. And it's terrible even in the regular game because you're trying to be stealthy with WASD, right?
The Eraphoroi were young girls between the ages of 7 and 11 who were in charge of special rites. A list of 4 girls was
If
drafted
you like the
by
shoving in
Assembly of
Assassin's Creed, then you have bad
citizens,
taste in
from which
video
the High
games.
Magistrate,
Sorry.
the Archon Basileus, chose 2 to serve as Eraphoroi for the year. The girls lived in a house on the Acropolis. They were in charge of carrying sacred objects and weaving the peplos of Athena. The peplos was a sacred robe offered to Athena during Panathenaea, a festival held in her honor.
Yeah, this would all be so much better as just a... I mean, if they made the mission-driven version of this, or even just the find this stuff out by talking to characters instead of museum headphones. But I understand that they probably didn't want to spend the budget on that and all that. It just would be so much better. Why is this a cutscene? The point is it's an explorable environment. Yep. It's like they're trading away. Like they worked so hard to build all of this for the regular game, right? And then it's like, let's take that away. Let's take that away for the fingers. Yeah. Again, it's probably because it was easy. Like, I'm probably not saying anything the design team doesn't know when I say, oh, it would be way better if blah, blah, blah. They know that. It's just, this was probably one person's job for 6 months to put this together, I hope. I mean, it is really cool. Like, I haven't played this game enough to go all around, and obviously this is one of like the signature locations, but it's very impressive, the environment in the last few Assassin's Creed games. It's crazy, the amount of stuff that they managed to do. Part of that is the team is just freaking huge, but like, I mean, this is... So first of all, it's interesting and nice and well modeled, and I mean, it doesn't quite look as good as some games, but you can sort of attribute that to, well, it has to run on a bunch of different platforms and all that, right? And also, it's just got to render this huge world that they can't... I mean, the gameplay requires a lot of openness like this and visibility. And it looks really good in an art direction sense, right? When I say it doesn't look as good as some games, I just mean like, like those flowers right there, they look a little meh. But, that's probably a technology thing, right? If they were able to assume higher end base platform, those flowers probably would look better. So, but it's a really good feeling environment, I mean, I wish I had less LOD on the mountains out there, but again, that's a... what? Okay, guys, I'm getting a lot of tearing here. I'm going to try switching to exclusive full screen again, and we'll see if that messes up. We'll see if that messes up this stream. Looks like it's okay. Well, I'm still tearing. Maybe that part doesn't matter. Graphics. Graphic quality ultra high, ultra high. How do I control VSync? Maybe it's on like swap tear. And I'm just getting lower lower refresh rate when looking out like that. Volumetric dog. It's a good point. If Unreal won't do it, maybe Ubisoft can implement it in their engines. I should be playing this on the 240 hertz monitor, guys. Honestly. Oh, there we go. Alright. Let's try adaptive. Which probably means swap terror. Okay. That looks better for me. And it looks like OBS is handling it. .66 FPS. It's on a 60 FPS display right now with VSync on. High FPS over res. Yeah, but this is not an action game. Like, I'm not doing anything. Even regular Assassin's Creed is not an action game. Can I just say, I mean, this is maybe politically incorrect for me to say this. I'm just going to say, these don't look that much like the Greek people that I know. I feel like the diversity team worked a little too hard on this game. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. That's just a personal observation. I mean, I have not been to Greece, right? I haven't walked around in Greece, but I've definitely watched video from Greece, and I know people who are Greek and have been Greek their whole life. You imagine ancient Greeks looked a little different, maybe, but You think you saw George Lucas? Is that George Lucas right there? His hair is too small. Why is it pointing the camera here? It's cool that you can hide the text and just see the finger. So what? Did they like not model the pot? I'm just very confused. I don't get it. It's interesting how you can see through the... I guess this is for third person. You know, I forget how to switch first and third person, but Oh, dude, they just like... Is the pot supposed to be here and it loaded in wrong or something? Like, what's going on? Somehow I don't think this is what the real thing is like. These goats are like, what's going on up there? There's like a space warp. This is very weird because, like, they have a thing right here that is on the screen where I'm being forced to look. Okay, that check mark is maybe where the pot is supposed to be. Dude, I don't know. I'm going to say this was a loading error. Oh, it's like right there in space. I don't know. If I look to the right, I can see it again. Oh. So maybe they were just like, you know, ship it. Ship it. We're never going to have somebody on tour who just walks right in here and looks straight at these things. That's a really good shader. Well, I mean, they were in a real hurry to ship this game. And some things were on the to-do list, I'm sure, and they were just like, we don't have time for that. You know, we don't need to get things right in the Parthenon. Nobody's going to go look at that. Is that person with blue pants missing a foot? What person with blue pants? Like, I hate that part of this game. Person with blue pants. You mean like that guy? No. It's just turned sideways behind the other foot. It says interact. Yeah, we already did that one. Is there a point to this? I'm taking a tour of Greece, man. Like, what do you... Is there a point to taking a tour of Greece? Can I talk to this guy? Something? Maybe not. See, imagine it was like this, but it was like Gothic, where you could like walk around and talk to all the people. Or enough of them, right? That dude looks kind of weird. He looks short. Like, he's just scaled. Maybe it's the perspective of the game, but he looks like squished wide. You know what I mean? Except for the head. The body is like wide, but the head isn't. Am I freaking, or does other people see that? He probably is short, but like, No, because the head and body would be proportional to each other. Like, this dude's just weird. We have 3 minutes left in the garlic. There are people who look like that, just maybe not in classical art. Could be the diversity team. They were like, we've got to have a variety of body types. So I don't know why it's showing me a pot. Maybe the pots are not really in the game world. It's like, this is another piece of art illustrating who this is. I mean, it is kind of a Greek sculpture thing to have this unnatural pose to kind of, it's a sculpture thing to like get more interesting shapes out of the body, right? It's just, it didn't quite work in this case when they tried to do it. Like, all this is something that sculptors do. Like, the head is kind of curved and tilted in a weird way, and like he's got kind of the sexy pelvis lean. That is definitely a thing. It just doesn't look right here, is all I'm saying. Some poor junior artist is crying. Probably not, because he probably had like 1 day to do this, right? They probably gave him a checklist and like, you have 1 day to model Pandion, and then you hand it to the texturer. Texturer models it. More like an outsourcer, probably. No, I mean, if you see, so some sculptors, so like Rodin, for example, I mean, he does his own thing. It's not like Greek, right? But he takes it to an extreme. Like, Rodin is like, I'm going to take this kind of like unnatural pose thing so far that like proportions of the body are, elongated and stretched, and it's not even that close to anatomical anymore. But Rodin does it, and it's beautiful, right? And that's the trick, is it has to be good. All right, the garlic is coming out of the oven. I gotta let the aluminum foil cool off before I open it. So, so a lot of making games good is just iterating, which is like having the time to iterate, right? Now, of course, this game in the aggregate looks really good. Like, the art direction on this game is really good. Part of that may have been that they've had many games to iterate on, like, what does Assassin's Creed look like in terms of high level direction. But, if I had a game, if I was directing a game and something came back like this, I would be like, well, it's cool, but we need another iteration on this. It looks weird. And let's identify why it looks weird exactly and fix that. And you know, they probably did a lot of that on this game, but at some point, either some of them, you know, they fall off the schedule because you don't have time, right? Or maybe you're just looking at so many things as an art director that you don't notice that this one looks weird because you saw it at 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, right? After you saw 500 other things. Or, you know, maybe you delegated this to junior art director who didn't think it looked weird. Or maybe there were a lot of other things that just looked way more weird that had to get fixed. You know, that kind of stuff happens. And then because of the scheduling constraints on this game, because it's so big and so expensive, like you just can't hold it back to fix things. It has to go out the door, right? And that's why I don't want to work on games with that big of a budget, because I want to be able to fix stuff like that. It also might be, doesn't Assassin's Creed have, like, it's just, those muscle bulges are just, doesn't Assassin's Creed have time of day and stuff? And so it might look less weird at other times of day, other lighting conditions. They might have made it this way because at some other lighting conditions at which important missions happen in the game, it looks better, and they made a trade-off between it looking better sometimes and weirder other times. This is just what game development's like. This whole time you thought the Thinker was an ancient sculpture? Yeah, no. No, there is actually some famous art that is not from the ancient world. Most sculptures from the ancient world do not survive very well, you know. You know, even stuff that's much more recent, right? So Michelangelo, I mean, how much of his stuff actually survived intact? Like, not that much. So, weren't Greek statues painted very colorful? Well, this one is. This one's painted, right? Like, yeah, for a long time, like when I was growing up, the thought about Greek statues was that they were just, you know, unpainted marble or whatever. And then more archaeological evidence came in that, like, no, they were actually painted. And so I think if we look at more sculptures, they're all going to be painted probably. Thinker is like one of many statues designed for some buildings and then made into a standalone. That could be possible. Yeah. So here, like, this is definitely a video game thing. Like, I think it would be highly unlikely in actual statues like this that they would be exactly mirrored. And here they are exactly mirrored. Probably because that's just a lot easier to do. You just flip it in your modeling tool, export it, and you're done. But like, I'm pretty sure that usually, I mean, I don't know that much about Greek sculpture, right? But like, I don't know ancient Greeks and their ways. Yeah, maybe they had a technology for exactly mirroring a dude. They got it from the crashed alien spaceship from Atlantis. So these aren't, maybe they're supposed to be bronze. I mean, I could bet that bronze wasn't painted, but stone was painted, but then who knows? I don't actually know if that's accurate. Okay, that is very inaccurate right there. I think. All right, we toasting some bread. It's gonna be good. Oh yeah, everybody. That's what I'm talking about right there. As soon as the toast comes out of the toaster, we in business. Should I do butter and garlic or just garlic? I'm going to eat so much pizza next week, it's going to be awesome. This is the Merrill Lynch statue. Okay, so this is related artwork down in the corner. I see. So back in the Parthenon, right, it must be the people on the wall were traveling to the festival, and then it was like, here's a pot that's also about that festival. So it's their way of just fitting in other artworks that wouldn't have been present, for example, because they were done in the 1700s. It's not accurate to the one on Wall Street. Yeah, it doesn't have the little girl that somebody put. Good toast. I just watched Return of the Killer Tomatoes again yesterday for the first time in many years. The movie still holds up, and toast plays a big part in it. Toast is just like a major thing. Guys, I have to say, like fresh roasted garlic at home is so easy and it's so good. Like you just put it in the oven, you start playing Assassin's Creed tour mode, and then it's ready. And then you put it on some toast. It's so good. Do I ever do fasting? I have never done a full day or more, but I've done some intermittent fasting kinds of things. But I think there's some ingredients that people usually miss when they talk about intermittent fasting. Ooh, okay, I didn't need to read that. Not while I'm eating garlic. Did not need to know. Once you go 24 hours fasting, it feels like your memory becomes super sharp and insightful. But does it actually, or does it just feel like that? It makes you really appreciate food. I believe it. I believe it. Sun's kind of going down in Assassin's Creed land. I wish I'd put in more garlics because I'm mostly done already. My stream is dropping frames. Well, I can't do anything about that, so whatever. I found an article I wrote about arithmetic coding. That is probably from the year 2002. Now the question is, how well does aloe drink go with garlic? I would guess not that well. Your only problem is it's too big. Yeah, definitely. You know, I felt like back when we were starting on The Witness, I already felt like games were... They were too much trying to have the big game penis of let's make the biggest world possible. Like Shadow of the Colossus. The world was too big for that game. It should have been smaller. So when we designed the Witness world, there was the very explicit goal of making it as small as possible. Well, within reason, right? And then, you know, game worlds have just continued to get bigger and bigger, and I'm just like, it's not that good to be this big. I mean, it's very, very impressive that they managed to make worlds as big as this game is. Like, it's, from what I've seen, freaking huge. They said the next game will be smaller. Yeah, because they're paying so much money to make it be big. And like, you just don't need it to be that big. Can I open the map? Yeah. So like, in the actual game, you can go to all these frickin' places. I mean, I guess we can now. I guess these are unlocked. So we can go everywhere. Like, it's frickin' crazy, dude. Like, the distance that we could see, let's, you know, look, if I'm facing here, that's like the next town over, right? In whatever direction I'm facing. I don't even know, is that this? No, I feel like it's... Is that like that? No. I just don't see anything on the map. Like, I would expect that to be like here, but I don't... You know, maybe it's this, and the arrow's weird because of third person kind of a thing. Oh, it keeps refacing me that... Let's move this way. It just keeps pointing me this way. Okay, so if it's going to keep pointing me that way, this is to the right. So I guess that's down here? Or maybe it is that, or maybe it's this. I kind of buy that it's this. But anyway, so that's how far we could see. Roughly this distance is how far we could see. And it seems far. And then you can go, you know... The world is 15 times that on each side or something. 12 times. Try going third person. Yeah, I don't like third person. What happened to the old witness blogs? The whole site is broken, you know. Like every single time we try to get somebody to do the website in some way. Anytime we try to get anybody to do anything with the website, they end up breaking it worse than it was. It's just bad news bears. So I want a parachute like Call of Duty. Can I widen my FOV? I don't really know what this is supposed to be. I'm getting kind of nauseous now. This is weird. I don't get nausea from video games. I am starting to get nausea for some reason. Executives still think it's a big label. Yeah, it's just not anymore, though. I mean, it's like, when No Man's Sky says, you've got as many planets as are in the galaxy. It's like, okay, yeah, but that's not actually good. Guys, I don't know. We might have to switch games. Yeah, maybe the garlic is making me motion sick. I feel like everything is bigger. Like, I feel like this wouldn't be this big. Of course, my character is 5'2", so what do I know? I just feel so shrimpy. I was like 8 feet away from that guy. God. Turn that shit off. Try third person? No, I hate third person. Oh, I guess to get rid of nausea, yeah. We'll see. This looks really nice. Well, except for that. It's like freaking out between the LOD, or maybe that's just decal projection inaccuracy. I think it's decal projection. Oh, that's going to make me nauseous. Maybe something like that is going on in a low-grade way like all the time, and my brain's reacting to it. You guys can see that, right? Like it's not getting killed by the stream. Authentic Greek Z fighting. It's not Z fighting, though. It's like projection. It's like there aren't enough bits in the... Like they're doing multiple projections in such a way that they're overflowing their significant digits. Something like that. I like this otherwise. It's just, ugh. Like it looks cool, man. This looks good. Again, I doubt these statues were this big. Like, that's just insane. If you were playing this game in VR, these would seem so ridiculously big, right? So this is a thing like in 2D, right? Which, I mean, it's a 3D game, but it's 2D, right? 2D display. Everything feels off in terms of size, right? It always feels smaller than it really is. And so I think game designers compensate for that sometimes by making things really big. But then when you're in VR, it doesn't feel artificially small, and then those things are just ridiculously large. So like here, I think it's just ridiculously large, but that's because, I don't know. This is like 3 times my character's height, at least. Like they're enormous, dude. All these statues are freaking enormous. Oh, I almost hit him and went, This is a little bit weird. Like, I wanted to talk about the thing I'm looking at, but I assume they made up the thing I'm looking at. And it's like something probably would have been here historically, but it didn't survive, right? And instead it's got information about something made in the 19th century. Oh, it's a photo. It's a photo of what actually... Wait. Why are they showing me a photo of what actually was up there? And then they didn't model... Oh, it's on the ground. I guess that was down there. So they didn't model it, but they were like, yeah, we couldn't model all this stuff, but here's what it looks like. Okay. Oh yeah, stone statues is fine. It's just, I don't think they had enormo statues like this everywhere. These are just insanely large. That's all I'm saying. Like even this pedestal, look. This pedestal is like, so I'm a little taller than this in-game character. This pedestal is like higher than my hand is. You know? It's very tall. So yeah, you normally, like a pedestal that high would be for a very large area, and this isn't that large of an area. Like you don't stand back that far from it. So this would, and again, like I said, perspective and FOV in video games makes things seem artificially small. But like I'm not that far from this giant freaking pedestal. You know, it would just be, this would just seem huge, right? And so again, I think they're making things big just in order to make them not seem super far away or something. I don't know. I am assuming ancient Greeks had the same understanding as we do. What are you talking about? What understanding am I assuming? Are you drunk today, dude? Oh, this is the same building. Yeah, whatever. I think they just projected some decals and it didn't totally work that well because of the way the shaders work, and they just didn't have time to fix it. Or maybe on consoles, they can use some shader features that give them more accurate transforms, and then here they can't quite. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still getting kind of nauseous from this. Ugh, and then the way it turns the camera is making it worse. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like the way it's messing with my camera. So people keep asking what this is. This is the, if you go to Uplay, this is their plan to try to get more people to use Uplay. You can download for free this tourism mode for both Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Egypt Land, whatever that one was. What's it called? Assassin's Creed Origins, maybe? Can it be said that in The Witness, these critics are modern in favor of traditionalism. I don't understand that part of the question. And my approach to game design is criticism postmodern. What? No. I don't think of myself as being postmodern in any way. I do not like postmodernism. I think postmodernism is kind of crap, to be honest. These look cool. Like, this feels better in some ways. I mean, it's unrealistically like, this camera is just, that's going to make me sick. So see, like it's unrealistically like unweathered and all that. Like, that's just because it's hard to model that at this scale. But it's cool to have stuff at this size. Like, it feels better, like not like freaking giant, you know? It makes the world feel more detailed. The Witness has postmodern elements, academically speaking. I don't agree. The ending video was not filmed by me for budget reasons. We could have hired someone to film it. I wanted to do it. It's a different thing.
Όχληση μη παρέχεις.
I don't understand what these spots are. Anyone see this NVIDIA paper about bazillions of dynamic lights? I saw that. If that's the one I'm thinking of, on the one hand, it's technically impressive. On the other hand, like, it doesn't look that good. You know, like, things look really flat a lot of the time, and I was trying to figure out why. Like, if they're really doing all those lights with bounces and stuff, why does it look so flat? Okay, wait. Self-referential, first of all, doesn't mean postmodern. The ancient Greeks did self-referential stuff while we're talking about Greece. Secondly, I don't think the story in The Witness is critical of game stories in any direct way. I mean, the fact that it doesn't have a traditional story, you could sort of, I guess, think about as being a criticism of game stories, but that's like an extreme stretch. That's the kind of academic BS that I don't go in for. I don't, especially when it comes to games, I don't like what gets taught in school mostly, you know? And then especially if you start taking like the English department's methods and applying them to games, I just start wanting to barf. Even though I took some of those classes at Berkeley, I'll tell you. The idea that it is impossible to know the truth denies the ideas of modern in favor of traditionalism, ? What? That sentence, I thought I understood what I was reading, and then it didn't make any sense. That was a really weird sentence. What? I feel like these are like spots that I can activate. Oh, they're for my third person character to stand on and just chill. Okay. Yeah, some of this stuff doesn't work that well in first person. Stop it! Let's go. I want to leave. She worked out an iPad. It's like a sketchbook or something. Like, look, this just looks really good. You know, if you're just looking at this. I hate that it moves my camera, though. Like, guys, it's like, this is totally a console gamepad design. Like, I'm playing. Can I turn this off? Just shut that off by default on PC. Camera assistance off. I hope that's it. What do they use eye tracking for? I have my eye tracker in a drawer somewhere. Okay, can I look at things now? Yes, okay. That was driving me nuts, so I'm glad we could turn that off. But like, you know, this just looks really good. I mean, like I said, poly count isn't through the roof because, again, you want to ship on a bunch of platforms. You know, texture resolution isn't through the roof, all these things. But like, for the level of resources that they have to spend on this, computationally, it looks really good. Like, it's well art directed. Which is something a lot of games don't manage to do. I want to stuff this eagle in a box so that it stops bothering me when I'm trying to just appreciate things. Like, just let me see. All these video games are designed assuming your player has an attention span that's like 20 seconds long. Just like, let me see things. Let me be places. If I've stopped for a bit and I'm looking at something, it's probably because I want to look at something. Don't have my character play some stupid idol where he whips out a banjo and starts snoring on the ground because, like, I paused for 30 seconds. Like, let me just be in the world. This looks good. Can you go into photo mode and tour mode? How do you do photo mode? Where's the chai? There's no milk now. Both sticks pressed down. Well, I don't know how to do that here. I bet there's a binding, though. Maybe not. I don't know. Photo mode. Use F3. I have a headache. We might have to switch games. Wait. What? What? Okay. Cool. I like games that have this kind of stuff. This is neat. Maybe we should put this in Sokoban game. I mean, it's not quite, you know, like in a third person game like Sokoban, it's not quite as meaningful as in like a first person game. But still. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Let's get hella bloom. There's no light sources though. That's cool. I dig it. Wasn't taking photos of my favorite gameplay of Fallout 4 and other Fallout game that I didn't play. No. Like, this environment is just nice. I'm glad I don't have to run around and kill people in it. Progress will be lost. You don't save what waypoints I've been to? That's kind of butt. Like, this looks really good. It's, I think it's a massively high, like, huge ass grapes and, like, other fruits. The other fruits are not too bad. I don't know, even those carrots are huge. Those are really big carrots. They're like as long as my forearm. Well, I guess my character is 5'2", so not quite that long, but this is big carrots. What was my favorite AAA game in the past years? I don't know. That's how big carrots were back then. Okay. Genetically. Like, look at these frickin' cucumbers or whatever those are. I mean, yeah, I didn't mind Call of Duty Blackout. Like, I wish they'd done a lot of things differently, but definitely I got some fun out of Blackout. I feel like there should be something else, though, that I liked better. I've quit the tour. Bite me. Okay, guys, we might have to play something else because I'm getting sick from this. I think maybe we take a break from it for a while and then I try again later at maybe on the 240 hertz monitor and see if that helps. Something like that. It said press T to whip out a torch, but it's not working. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a break. Like, it's really cool having all this jump around ability in like a tour mode. That's cool. Okay, imagine, F3 to enter photo mode. Imagine this, right? Say you were Ubisoft and you were like, man, we spent a lot of money on that Assassin's Creed game. and we probably made some money off it, but we want to make even more. Just use this exact map with all these exact buildings and stuff and just make an RPG. Seriously, just like give it to another team and say, make an RPG on this map. People would buy that. How good is image quality? It's only 1080p and the colors are not that good, but I might like it better anyway. You think reviewers would say it's bad because of the reused assets? Yeah, but nobody listens to reviewers anymore. Literally nobody cares about reviewers. If I ran Ubisoft, I would definitely do that, dude. Just this exact map. Don't change anything. Because it's nice. It's like really nice. This is way more detailed than I've ever seen in other RPGs. I mean, I guess I haven't played any that recently, but I'm pretty sure that none of them... Because RPGs, I don't know why this is, but RPGs have always been bottom of the totem pole in terms of engine technology and in terms of just like level of detail in the world, which is weird because they're about being in the world, but they've always, I guess, RPG players have been willing to accept, stuff that's not that great along those dimensions because they care about other things, right? So, like, you could just toast people. You like the Witcher 3's environment? Yeah, this is just has way more stuff in it than I remember that game having. Like, way more. If you half-ass RPG... No, you make an awesome RPG on top of this. You make a really good RPG. You just spend as much money as you would on a regular game, but you don't have to build the map or do the graphics. It'd be great, dude. Yeah, I probably won't play Cyberpunk. Did I play Divinity Original Sin 2? I don't think so. Making a good story is not easy. Well, obviously. Given the stories that we have in video game RPGs. But like, look, dude, I feel like you're just being argumentative for the sake of doing that, even more so tonight than usual, which is pretty bad. Like, look, it's easier to make a good story. It's easier to make a game that has a good story if the engine and map and all that are built for you than it is to make all that and make a game that has a good story. Like, that's obvious, dude. Have I played Disco Elysium? No, I'm unlikely to. I don't know, I might, but probably not. Oh. Do I know any games with good stories? Compared to books that have good stories or movies that have good stories, no. 0 video games have good stories compared to that.
Patrzą tu.
Start tour. I already saw some of these. I don't want to do a tour to see the things I already saw. Lady. Clone of the same lady I think I saw elsewhere. I mean, this game has come a long way from the first Assassin's Creed in terms of like feeling like a city. Like with all these different areas with different stuff. Wait, I did this one? I did this one. Pottery. It is a shame all these art assets get thrown in the garbage after every game. Totally. Yes. Even this running animation is really weird. Like, you don't run fast by bending your torso forward from the waist at a 45-degree angle. Like, that's just not, that's not how to run, you know? It's just funny. And they're, you know, they're doing that for stylistic purposes or something, but it just looks weird when you look at it. You wanted to find some C++ entry-level coding job. Where do I recommend you go? I don't know, dude. I have not applied for a job since the year 1998 or something like that. Maybe a little bit after that. I guess I applied for some contracts around like 2000 or 2001. So it's been 20 years since I applied for a job. I do not know how you do that today. That's how you run an anime. Now you have to put your arms back to run an anime. What are my thoughts on realism in game design? Usually makes for a very bad game. I mean, some games, so like Tarkov does realism and gets a lot of good things out of the realism, but it also screws up the game. They're not like, they're being brave in the degree to which they're realistic, but they're not threading the needle correctly. And their game is kind of unplayable in ways that it shouldn't be. If you just, they need to start from where they are now and then just make a little bit in the way of more traditional game design decisions, and their game would get like 5 times more playable. But like, I can't play it because I'm not that masochistic, you know. Because in like, here's the reality, right? Like, Escape from Tarkov is a little bit realistic in terms of like, you know, damage and stuff. It's actually not that realistic because like you get shot and you can heal yourself up and stuff. But like, look, if things were even as lethal as Escape from Tarkov, you just wouldn't go out and get shot. You just would stay home. And so would most other people. And the few people who were willing to go out and shoot each other would all die. And then nobody's doing that anymore. Like, that's the world that you would be in. So it's like the game doesn't make sense to some degree. Yeah, like these statues are ginormous, dude. I guess it's so that, like, if you look at how this is scaled right now, it fills most of the screen when my third-person character is as close as I can get. That's probably something like how they decided this. It's like, oh, if you want to look at it really close, oh, well, that's awkward, but if you want to look at it really close, this is as close as you can get, right? But like in fact, that makes it frickin' giant. Giant. I like the art direction on the buildings though. It's real good. Well, sometimes it's not. Like, I don't like those beams up there. But again, that's probably, you know, a labor problem. There are statues that are way bigger than that in real life. No, but like every statue is that big or bigger here. It's really excessive. I mean, I know that it is physically possible to make a large statue. Like, don't worry about that. If that's what you're telling me. But like, this is not, I mean, again, I haven't been to Greece, but I've been to some other places that have statues. And it's just not like this. Yeah, like if you see what I'm saying, like every statue, they're pretty consistent in how big they make them, but they're all like, you know, 3 times human size. Can I climb up this? Yeah. You know, this is cool though. Like, I do wish the tour thing was more integrated into the game, but it's cool. It's cool that they released this. It's cool that they made it. I like just walking around and looking at stuff more than listening to the tour lady. Especially when I can like do this. Like they did a good job on that. You can see it repeats. But like, you know, it's nice. I'm sure they use that a lot. That I love that. That's the most unrealistic jump. But, you know, it's gameplay. Like you would just die trying that. I think they also do it so you can actually see the props from a distance on screens that cover a much smaller part. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier, that like just in video games generally that are not in VR, things always feel artificially small. Right? And so that's kind of why they're doing that. And also it probably helps you find landmarks and stuff. Like those statues down there. Especially, you know, I'm playing this on a higher resolution than console players, and so if you want to make things out, it probably helps. I'm just saying though, it's weird. It's weird when you really like look at it. Yeah, no, they totally should just make an RPG. If I bought Ubisoft with all my spare cash, that's what I'd have them do. I'd also say, hey, Clint, stop this weird super left-wing advertising that you're doing for this Watch Dogs game. Although, I haven't seen what they've been doing for that in a while, if anything. You haven't seen that? No, when they announced it, at wherever it was, like E3 or whatever, they came out and said, oh yeah, with all this Brexit stuff that's happening, pretty soon England's going to be in a dystopian future like this one. They didn't literally say that, but like that was the impression. Are they doing woke dogs? It might be woke dogs. I don't actually know. It was very cringy, yes. Is that the Acropolis up there? Yeah, it's got the giant dev statue up there. See, that's the thing, is I can look from down here, and even though that statue is insane, I can see it and be like, oh yeah, okay, I know where that is. So that's, you know, that's partially why they did that. All right. This feels good, but like I said, I need to take a break from it. Cause I'm getting a little nauseous, but we're gonna play more of that, and we're gonna play the Egypt one as well. Maybe a little more tonight, maybe later on. For now, we can go back to this damn game. I've got a headache now, though. Let me take a break. I could just chat for a little bit. That's so weird, guys. Games don't usually give me nausea. This is my first time in a long time. Like VR maybe a little bit, but this is weird. Maybe it's like there's a lot of latency in the turning or something. Is there liable to be a good reason for them not to reuse the assets as I described? So in general, the model of AAA games right now is you make a really big budget game, because it's this power law kind of success thing, like you have with a lot of disciplines, right? Like the things that are the absolute top in terms of marketability and in terms of who will buy them, make way more money than things that are like 2/3 that good, right? So you're always aiming to be at the top of that, right? Like middle budget games don't really sell that much relative to high budget games. So you're always trying to make high budget games that impress people, right? And so you kind of want to spend a lot of money. It's a weird logic, but you want to spend a ton of money on your game because that's part of how you make it the top game that everybody wants to buy. That's like the whole model. Tried Valorant yet? You're being very presumptuous with that yet. You're also feeling sick with the movement. Oh, you mean just watching? Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Can I like expand this to be, yeah. So I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, as far as I can tell, this puzzle is not possible unless I can get this marker to my right off this column that it's in, and that doesn't seem to be possible. But here, so the realization that I had, the only one since streaming before, is, see, this bottle is a funny shape, right? It's not symmetric. Like, you would think maybe this bottle should be symmetric, but it's got this row up here, right? Why is that there? Well, the only real reason that's there, let me get rid of this stuff for a second. The only real reason that's there is so that you could have some, like a block back here, and then push it out and then get it down. Because if that weren't there, it would be against the wall and you wouldn't ever be able to push it down. So this implies that to solve this puzzle, you need to get a block from back here out. But I haven't, I just don't know. I don't know what the deal is, right? And so, you know, last time I was playing with the thing where I can move that marker up to where I'm standing now by knocking it with a block from the bottom. But then that seems to block this way out that I could push a crate. So I'm leaving it in the middle for a bit to see what that does for me. But honestly, I don't think it does anything for me. So I'm very confused and don't know what to do. Did I see a substantial number of people experience nausea in the witness? Yes, lots. And I have no idea why. I could push it down in the center. What? Push what down in the center? You guys, you can't say context-free things in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about. Push it down in the center. There's nothing in the center. Only when walking slowly. If you hold shift, it's fine. Weird. Talking about the... Push what down? God. Anyway. So, Ubisoft really cut back on the art department budget. I know. This is the new Assassin's Creed game. Watch. Now I'm going to drop on somebody from a high roof and assassinate them. Ready? There you go. Now I'm going to jump up really high back onto the roof. Yeah, I don't understand what I'm missing about this. What is the goal? We're trying to push the purple squares onto the other purple squares. And there's one, I'll show you, this is the starting state, whoops. Starting state of the puzzle. And okay, this thing makes me heavy and I fall to the bottom and then I can't go up, right? And this thing makes me light and then I can't go. So I can't really walk around in the water part right now. On other puzzles, there's an intermediate form that lets you do that, but this one doesn't have that. So the goal is just to move the blocks, right? Okay, I will push a block automatically if I'm heavy. So like, boom, right? And in a tricky trick, you can push the little glyphs if you push them with blocks, right? But you can't push them with your own body because you walk onto them. You can push them into water and stuff, but if I push this one into the first square of the water, I can use it because I just do that. But if I push it further, then I'm stuck down here. Like if I do this, now I can't ever get back out, which is a problem. And so the thing I was doing before was like this. I was pushing that there. I was pushing this. I was doing this. And that knocks this guy up here, which seems like an important thing that you would want to do, except it doesn't, I can't get it out of there either. And then the problem is this block is not helping me. So now, here's the thing is, I kind of want to push this block. The whole problem with this level is I want to push this block south of where it is, the one to the left of me. And I can't seem to ever do that at all, right? Obviously, if I push it now and then go do stuff on the bottom, well, how do I get to the bottom? I go this way. And that messes it up because it's in the same column, unless I could somehow move it out of that column, move the top glyph out of that column, which I don't have a way of doing, okay? Similarly, well, with the bottom, it's sort of the same. Like I can do the bottom one, and I'll show you the other problem. So, well, now I have this problem that this one is stuck on this side, but pretend I didn't do that. Oh, and then this one over here is easy. I can do this at any time, right? Now with this one, suppose that I did this, right? Whoops, sorry, didn't want to do that yet. And then I did this, and pretend I had another block up on the top, right? Which I can't quite get right now. But imagine, so what I want is for that block to be right here where I'm standing, so I can go here and push it down and then I win. The problem is, I can't go down to the bottom when there's a block there. So when I come back to the top, there can't be a block there. It has to be like over here or something, and then I can't get around it. And then the last thing to say about all this is you can also do this following thing. You can put a block on top of one of the glyphs, but then when you push it off, you automatically activate the glyph, right? Can two blocks be pushed at the same time? Yes, they can. So here, if I do this and this, I can go like that. So now one other reason why I thought it's like, okay, maybe I do that. Maybe I put a thing back there, right? Or no, let's do a thing where maybe I need multiple blocks on this side, but maybe I put one back here. I don't know why. I'm just doing this to do it, right? But then things come out differently. If I do this trick that I was doing, then we get that. Why would I want that? I don't actually know. It doesn't seem to help me in any way, Because what I really want is a block here where I'm standing. And if I push this out and try to push that south, I'm going to go south and push it. So that didn't help me at all. When I play games like this, do I visualize my own moves? Not visually. Do you have to get back out once you get the squares to their goals? No. No. It's you just have to get the squares on, but you can't do it while you're falling. Like you have to be stopped anywhere in the level with the guys. The game just says first shelf when you start and nothing else happens. I don't know. It's the web, people. Why do you expect it to work? Why do you expect the World Wide Web to work in the world widely? Any opportunities arise when all three blocks are on one side? Well, I mean, they kind of, at least one of them needs to be on the opposite side. Because otherwise, I mean, you know. You just made some roasted garlic and put it on a sandwich. Oh, you had fresh garlic laying around? It's so good. It cannot be spherical with uneven cross-section. Look, this is an alchemy world that has alchemy and magic. So they magicked the bottle. Right on. I don't know how you have garlic laying around, but then don't have the idea to roast it. But okay. I'll take it for granted that that actually happened and that you're not fictionalizing this. Have you ever had black garlic? Maybe like in small amounts on food, but not like roasted or something. You can't believe I played full bore as much as I did. I mean, that game was kind of cool. Like, I liked the basic idea. It's just, I also like good puzzle design. And the puzzles in that game were just kind of random, you know. I mean, they weren't, like, bad. But they also weren't the kind of thing I really appreciate. So, you know, I played it enough to get the basic idea. And I was like, okay, cool. I dig it. Can't you push that block up on the teleport? Yes, but then I fall. Like what? What's the point of that? Or do you mean up off of the teleport? Like Twitch is... The problem with people having sloppy grammar like they do in Twitch chat is I just have no idea what people are saying. I have no idea. Is there any way to push the green block? No, that's a wall. Green block is a wall. Would pushing a purple block up to the green help? I don't think so. You can get one there without having to push it up. You just put it there, right? All going up with it would do is leave me in the water, which Okay, actually, I do have a little bit of a question about that. Let's now that we've moved this guy up, all right? Now, see, I want to somehow see, once I do this, now that block is stuck there too, unfortunately. If there was a block here where I'm standing, I want to see if there's a way for me to do this experiment. Like, let's try it in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to take this up, right? So that's going to stop me, and I'm in the water. Now the question is, if I go to the right, do I push this block upward, or does it just kind of keep me where I am? And I assume I'll push it. Yeah. But I just wanted to test that. Because if it kept me where I was, then you could imagine one of those being to the left, right? And then I go around it, and then I'm on the inside with a block there. And then if I had already moved this guy north, I could go around the block and push it, right? But can't do that, Dave. It doesn't matter though, because I can't, unless I can move this guy off this column, I can't get to the bottom with a block in that position at all. Did I enjoy the swapper? Yes, I really like that game. Skip to another level and come back to this. I did that before, and I also got stuck on the next level. We could do it again, but I want to at least have a new idea before I do that. So, like, what's this deal? Like, why? Now I'm hosed, but like, why do we have this asymmetric part of the bottle? It's not to do this, it's to get things out. So there has to be a reason to get things out from back here. And the only reason I can think of, because you can't actually, if something is in this column, you can't push it unless it's a block. If it's the glyph, you can't, right? So it's got to be that there's a block there. Like, that just has to be what it is. Now I'm removing it for a second because I think I need 2 blocks at the bottom, and we're just making that happen. We have 2 blocks at the bottom. I have 1 block up here. So now why? Can you push things out the neck? No. Yeah, like what was just said in chat, I'm basically confined to the zones, except, right, I can just for an instant go into the middle, which will push things. So that's, you shouldn't ignore that ability, but I can't like move freely there. Why would I need a block there? Well, I mean, all I can think is like, you know, it's got It's got something to do with this, right? But then this, that's like weird. And why would I want to do this? That's all I can think of to do with that. Why would I do this? Or maybe there's one other thing I could do, which is if I don't put that there yet, and I do this, right? Oh, whoops. I mean, I guess if I... Oh, see, I've already done the thing at the top. So if, instead of doing that yet, if I do this, get my 2 blocks on the bottom, do this guy over, but first go, and I get this one up. So now that it's not on top of the dude, oh, I guess I could have just done the same thing. Anyway, I can do this and get the guy off the row. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I can do this. Oh, hold on. I want to go back here. I'm going to try this trickaroo. No. Gonna do this. Okay. So, but now to get down to the bottom, I have to wreck the thing that was the whole thing that I did. And why would I do that? Yeah, it can't be to push the big portal because you can't. You would have to have a block to the left of it, and then you would have to be standing to the left of the block, and there's no space for that, right? Okay, if I do this, right? Now the problem is if I go back up, okay, hold on. I do that, I go back up, I put this guy back and do the same thing again. Why am I doing all this besides that I'm stupid? I want to do something crazy like this. All right. Now there's 3 frickin' things. Can I do something with that? And the answer is probably nothing that I couldn't already do. Like, okay, I can do this. Now I'm over here. That's a little bit interesting, I guess. But like the valuable thing is having something in this spot to my right. That's the thing that's hard to do. Except it's not hard to do. What's hard is to do that and get to the bottom. So, I don't know, man. Can you make a vertical stack of block, glyph, block? If I do that, I can't get back across, okay? If I'm on one of these sides and I push the glyph across, I cannot get across anymore. If I tried the new Animal Crossing, no. And I will not. No. No. It's pretty hard. So is doing your taxes. Oh, your island is into a puzzle that's pretty hard. Interesting. Maybe you can put yourself into a situation where not being able to get back across is actually okay. You know what? I think that's the answer to the puzzle. Damn it, dude. I was kind of spoilered, but I kind of figured it out. All right. All right. So I know basically what to do now. I don't 100% know, but I mostly know. So we have to get this guy off the top line so we could fit blocks, right? So we do this. Okay. That's actually too much, though. The question is, can I get this guy off the top line, but not that far? Because you want to get a block under him. So the thing that I'm thinking is, if I can get a block south and then that guy and a block north of him, and you just push it, I could push it till I'm here and it goes across the thing. I tried that with 3 blocks before and I was like, oh duh, there's a block in the middle that I could never get out. But if you have a glyph in the middle, you're fine. I'm pretty sure that's got to be the solution, guys. And it has to be the bottom one because you can't move the top one. So the question then is, how do I do this? And I think the answer is, I have to do some crazy crap. I think it's too late already. I think I need that 3rd block, but let's just try that. See, this is almost fine. Right? Like, if I just could now get this block, 1 south and 1 west, then I could push it north and win. The problem is, once I've done this, it's no good. Because once I've done that, I can't do it. What if we do this crazy situation, right? That I was saying, I don't know why that's a thing. Well, what if we try to figure out why that's a thing in concert with what we were just saying? So we do this. Whoops. We're just getting that down there, I guess. We do this. We go back down. We do that. we do this. See, now my question is, how do I ever get this block off this guy? And I guess the answer is I have to push it first. Like, it's just, I'm just hosed though from here. Like, I don't know what this is supposed to do for me. Okay. I have to have, when I do this, I just have to have the third block here when I push this into place. And then I push that train, right? So I need all three blocks at the bottom, which isn't hard. Okay. Then I do this. I do that. I do that. I do this. The top was a red herring. The top of the bottle was a red herring. What the hell, bro? I don't like that. That level is fired. Yeah, okay. If this were my game, I would get rid of this, at least. And then, I don't know, like I would try to simplify it even a little bit more. But I'm not that big of a fan. You know, here's the thing. Maybe it's just I'm getting old. But puzzles just being really hard is not really that interesting. Like, I realize I've shipped some games with some hard puzzles, but they also had puzzles that weren't that hard, right? Like, puzzles that are hard just feel like work sometimes. And, like, I don't want to do work necessarily, right? Not unless I really think it's worthwhile. So, I don't know. I think the puzzles in this game are too hard for what they have to offer. Like, there definitely was a point to that puzzle that was definitely interesting, but it was too hard for how interesting it was, and it wasn't clean. You know, the layout of the level is not clean. All right. Okay, let's get back to this frickin' one. So last time when we were playing this on stream, I was trying to make a shelf along the bottom and then walk along it. And what I realized is if I'm heavy, even if I can walk on this thing here, I'm going to drop a block. I was trying to get a block here that I could step on and then we would push it down. But that, of course, won't stop here. It'll go there and then I'm standing on it. So like I need to do that twice. And the problem is, once I do it once, this block, this is something that I actually just figured out thinking about the level, not playing it. Once I do this once, this block is blocking my way back to the left. So then I'm stuck down here unless I can get this over here somewhere. So I think that's actually what I have to do, is instead of pushing this south, or instead of pushing it down here, which is what easy to do and what I was doing before, I think I need to get this thing over here, either in the water here or on the land here. In the water is probably fine. What game is this? Somebody pasted a link in the chat. Your immediate reaction shouldn't be, oh, come on, really? You know, I didn't feel that way about the solution to that puzzle. I just didn't like that there was a highly salient feature of the level that was misleading. Because, like, if you want to just keep making puzzles harder by adding that kind of stuff, you can. Anyone can do that, though. It doesn't really require a lot of talent to do that, right? What requires talent is like the idea of what to do, of what the puzzle is about, and then executing it cleanly. And that puzzle had a good idea of what the puzzle was about, and it was mostly clean, but it's kind of spoiled by that weirdness about it. I don't think it's good to just let puzzles be a little easier. You don't have to make them hard. Hardness is not a virtue necessarily. You can easily make puzzles harder by adding things that distract. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And anyone can do that, right? In the extreme, anyone can make the puzzle of how to unlock the door really hard by hiding the key in a bush and putting 500 of that identical bush on the level. And then you're like, I don't know how to open this door. Great. Congratulations. You made a really hard puzzle, right? Is it a good puzzle? No. Now, I'm not saying that. That's not what happened here. What I was saying is, of course, an extreme straw man case. Nevertheless, that some video games do sometimes. But I just, you know, I personally would have enjoyed that puzzle more without that. That's all. Okay. Let's actually change. I think the metamorphosis that's in the game list is not the same one, but whatever, that's what you get for calling your game Metamorphosis. Okay. Why does the category say Assassin's Creed? Because that's what we were playing. Assassin's Creed, getting over it. That would be the dopest, highest budget, sexy hiking clone ever made. I will say that okay, so if I'm going to complain about this, I will say it's a relatively skillful red herring. Because, like, it you know, maybe it comes from an earlier version of the puzzle or something, but it makes it seem like it makes it, because there's a thing you can see to do here, it makes it seem like there's possibility space here. Whereas, like, just making the wall a more complicated shape wouldn't necessarily do that, like a random shape. So, like, it's a smart red herring, but I don't like it. Okay. So, as far as I can tell, the only way I'm ever going to move that thing to the right is on the top level. And the thing is, I don't know how to get it to the top level unless I, again, get a ton of blocks to the bottom level and then move them back up. So I think maybe, like, okay, once I get that there, I can get back. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get that out. Probably not from here. So once I do this, okay, yeah, so Okay, here. So now my thing is I want to get that guy back up further than he was, which requires an extra block on the bottom than I have. And I cannot... Oh, no, wait. No, I can't... Okay, guys, for the same reasons that I couldn't push stuff last time, I can't get this thing to the right like I was saying because he's one from the wall, and there's just nothing you can ever do about that in this game. What I do want to do, because I want to know the answer to this, is I want to cross the streams. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... It'll take me a bunch of work to get to where I was last time. Like I have to rescue that block that's like pinned, and I don't remember what the steps were for that. Oh, I had to make blocks. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I have to push that dude down further. I don't know. Maybe this was fine. I have to do that. Okay. This is good. So now we're just going to start doing all the stuff that we were doing last time, which is that, right? And then there, and then do it again. Well, I need another block up here. No, you know what? I could just push this guy over. Oh no, because I need this guy here. How did I get that frickin'... It seems so hard. I need that guy there. I remember putting a guy down there. And then I need one where I am. And then I need a third one. And then I need to stand on the third one. I guess that's doable. All right. All right. So I kind of just need to have this be there. Oh, there. Yeah, okay, like this. Okay. There we go. Good. This is successful solution of phase one of this puzzle, is just get that fourth block. Now what do we do? I do not know. You could post a dodo code. I don't know what a dodo code is, but... Oh, Animal Crossing. I don't know if you want. I don't know who in here plays that game. Okay. Phase one, success. So now, phase two, I don't really know what to do now because we have that problem. Like, okay, I kind of can start doing this and maybe get a guy here, right? Like before. The problem is, as soon as if I somehow get a guy to the right of me and I'm one north and then I walk to the right and push him down, He's going to go down here where I am. And then I'm going to need to go around to get another one. And I'm not going to be able to unless I push this guy to here, and then I'm stuck. So like, how do I make that not happen? Well, if I did 2 at a time, that wouldn't happen. But I don't know how to do that. That seems not possible. I'm not going to read this very detailed suggestion that someone just posted because I don't want to get spoiled. Yeah, I just don't know what to do, though. Like, okay. I see a configuration of 4 blocks that would win the level, right? If there was 1 directly under me, and then 2, 3 go to the right from there, and then 4th goes from the south of 3. If I had that, like, if I had the Tetris shape that I have now, but rotated to the right and hanging off the right of the platform, then I win the level. That's the only thing I can see that'll win me the level. I just don't know how to make it. It seems impossible to make because I would have to get a block there in the first place. Which I don't know how to do. And if I push it further to the wall, then I'm stuck. And anyway, the way things are now, for me to extend further to the right seems very difficult because, I mean, I kind of need this column to land on that I have. Ugh. When in doubt, brute force it out. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I just don't even know what to brute force. So, you know, there's this thing where I can go around and back out, and back out, and I can just keep doing this. But once I try to put a block down there, I can't do that anymore. And I can't get this elevator back to the other side. That's just not possible. So now I could drop down this side, but that doesn't help me that I can see. Well, Do I actually need 3-block stack? Yes. Though I did get things a little bit further last time, I don't remember how I did them. The point is, if I want to push this block that's below me to the right, I need to stand on something to do that. Or I guess I need 2-block stack to do that, right? This is what I did last time, actually, is... well, the problem is here is to get a block out. Maybe I could do something here. No, I'm kind of hosed. To get a block out, I need either this guy south of me. All right. Way back before we push this guy to the right, we need to do a thing. We need to do this. That's fine. And then we do our thing. Let me just get this one off. That doesn't help me because these won't both push. But you know, it does help me do the thing that I want to do. Okay, this is about where we were last time, right? So if I get rid of these blocks below me, I can't ever push these to the right. Which I seemingly need to do. But if I do that, so the problem is, right, if I drop to the left to push these to the right, now I can't ever get on top of them. Because to get on top of them, I need to go around this green thing that I'm on and push the guy in the bottom out, right? And then I can get him over. But I can't get around there now. Right? Because I'm like here. So if I try to go to the right, I push these guys and I'm stuck. And then if there was only one, I would just push him to the wall pointlessly. So that's sort of where I think we were last time. It's not knowing what to do with that. Push the heavy glyph. Someone says you can't ever do that. You can't, if something is 1 square from a wall or less, you can't push it away from the wall. Well, if a glyph is. So neither of these glyphs can be really moved that much, right? So this one can go left and right, and this one can go up and down, or could have, until I stuck it in a corner like this. Is there any reason that rightmost column is open? It does seem suspicious, doesn't it, right? Why is that there at all? Well, I don't know. I mean, certainly we can go down that way. I don't think we can ever go up that way. So it might be that we need to go down. Well, I would think get behind something and push, but this is there, so I'm not sure what that would be. I mean, well, let's see. If we do this, let's just say I do this, all right? Because that's kind of getting where I, sort of toward where I want to go. Oh, then I was saying I can't get around, but I can, right? So I do this, I do that, right? We use our back entrance, then I can get this out. Okay. Now the problem is the following, right? This is what I was saying before. If I push this down. Wait, what? That's not supposed to work. That is BS, dude. That is not supposed to work because we established that that does not work, guys. Let's go back to this level. Remember this level? Remember this level, everybody? Remember this level? Where I was like, oh, maybe you could just do it in motion. Right? Like this. Remember this? Oh, look, it doesn't work. All right. F for this game. F. That's not what happened, though. Explain to me what happened. I wasn't in... Oh, because I stopped because I was on the ground. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. I confused myself. I pre-visualized too much. I was like, oh, I'm going to drop all the way to the bottom. But I wasn't going to drop all the way to the bottom. I was going to drop to there. If I had realized that I was confused about that, I would have solved this puzzle like an hour ago because I knew exactly what to do. All right. I was confused. All right. That's okay. I was going to say, if they like change the rules for one puzzle, that would be a pay respects to this game. But no, they didn't. I was just confused. Okay. We've got a medium size again. But wait, it's in the middle. We have to somehow get the medium size out of the middle. Which we could do. We could do that. I feel like that's not quite right, but maybe it is. Okay, so we have to get blocks. So obviously if I do this, I lose. Like that's just, there's no way out of that. So that's kind of the thing. If I go down here, I can go down here. And if I go up here, I can go up here. And there's really nothing else I can do unless I do this. So like, I don't see another opening move than that. That appears to be my only opening move. Now I can do this. And I can be Aquaman. Okay, the problem is I need to have pushed Big Dude to the right because I have no way out of being Aquaman right now. So, or to the left, let's say. Okay, hold on. I can't do both of these things. That's interesting. I need to be able to get out of being Aquaman. If I do this, then that block is kind of stuck. I could never get it off. Because I go down, right? I go up, but like I can't ever retrieve that block. If this guy is there, then I can retrieve this block, but then I can't move the guy, so what's the point? That's not going to help me. You're stuck on level 19. Mine is only showing 5 levels. I don't see a bottle to the right. Maybe something cool happens. So I can't see here. I'm stuck. I can't ever not be Aquaman. So this is interesting because I have a puzzle to solve like very early of like, what the hell? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? What the hell? Okay, the only way that I ever could get out of being Aquaman is with this big thing. Because the little thing cannot move. It's in a corner. It literally, there's nothing you're ever going to do. Big thing I could move. Wait. Why didn't I just do this? Was I like confused? Like what? So now the problem is I can't ever be Aquaman in the first place, right? Unless I do this. If I do this, I could be Aquaman. I could be heavy. Okay. Now the funny thing is, how do I get the guy? Like what? Like, are you fucking kidding me? How do I get him across the wall? He's very funny. Now, I guess this one's easy, right? So this one I push out. And then I could do this. I could do this. And then I just do that one anytime, right? It's the other one that's hard. Because you can't be Aquaman on the left side of the wall. But you have to be Aquaman on the... Like, what? Like, the only way to get a block into this square is to have it in this square, where I'm standing, and push it from the water. I mean, maybe this is one of these cases where you use the big glyph to also push, but that's not going to help. This part of ancient Greece is really low res. I know it, man. I know it. Man, you know, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks really good. But also in like 5 years, it's not going to look very good. It's so weird the way video games are like that. So weird, man. All right. Yeah, this is a puzzle. This is the mini game where you're hacking the whatever the cybercomputer in Assassin's Creed is called. You're hacking the global matrix. Frame. I mean, okay. Like, if I have one of the squares here, which again, the only way I can get there is by pushing it from the water, then if I also push the medium glyph to here, I could get behind the block and push the medium glyph into the water. Anyway, so I have a feeling that I am not supposed to push the big dude that far. I think I'm supposed to try to do something with him before that. It's just, I do not see how. Oh, I could do this. The problem is till I move him off. Oh. I can't become light. So if I could get to the light thing and get back to the top, I could move that top block around and to here, right? And then I could push him left if I somehow could get over here, which is also not. I feel like this is a red herring. I don't know. See, now that these guys are above each other, I can't do anything there. I don't know what to do but to push it there. And once I do that, he is stuck. He is stuck. Stuck. So like, I mean, if somehow I could do the glyph pushing thing with two frickin' glyphs. Oh, you know what? I've been thinking a little bit incorrectly, right? If I do the medium, I was like, oh, you can't push the medium thing onto dirt because you'll be stuck. But no, that's not how it works. The way it works is you'll bubble up to the water. So I can do this. Okay. I can do that and then that. Okay, this. is starting to seem better. And now because I can do that, let's go back to whatever I was doing. Remember this? Now, so now I can't move water guy, but I can move top guy off the left, right? So like, I can do, well, if I could become light here, which I can't, then I could push him left, which I suppose is not really worth it. Let me go back to what I was doing. I like that one better. Okay. So now from here, I can actually do something like this. I mean, that's it. That if I had a block on the top, I think I kind of win. Oh, wait. Because I do that, right? And I can get that down there. I mean, I guess... problem is that basically kills me if I don't have everything lined up. Like, what if I push one of the blocks first? Like right now I'm blocking that with that, right? But suppose I do this, like that, go there, and then there. And then the problem is, see, if I do this, I'm kind of stuck. Oh, wait. I can do that, but like, I'm still stuck unless I can get in there from the other side, which I now can no longer do. If I could push the big guy left, if I somehow could do that, then I could drop down onto this, become medium, push that guy down, but then the other guy would be down as well. Will this provide new level ideas? Probably not. It's a very different game. Since it's possible to put the Aquaman tile outside the water, it is possible to go inside the other pool. Yes, but only if the Aquaman tile is to the left of the wall, right? If it's over here, I can't like go into it and then walk around and go into the water. As soon as I go into it, I'll float up till I hit the water. So it has to be below the water I want to go into, or above, actually, because I'll sink if it's above. So that's another option, is like I have more space on the north. So like the play might be first just get more control over this other block, right? So now it's like just out in the middle, so I could do stuff with it. So now suppose I just want to get everything up to the top. I mean, I guess that was a roundabout way. So I can do that. I'm just going to get all the blocks up there, right? Oh, wait. No, because I wanted them on the bottom, actually. I lied. The reason I want them on the bottom is because I want to push, whoops. I want to push the Aquaman block up to the top. All right. So now, of course, the problem is just, you know, that maybe wasn't a very good place to put the Aquaman block. But, yeah, if I had pushed it somewhere slightly different, I basically win at this point, right? Because imagine that I could put one block, you know, kind of down here. Whoops. And then I use the other one to push the Aquaman block over. And then I smush them onto the same square. And then I push it south. Like, I think I kind of win at that point. I mean, the question is just whether these guys stack on top of, they probably would. I feel like I would need to push the Aquaman block and then get out. No, I feel like what I would need is to I need the Aquaman block to the left, and then I need this block down on the bottom again. Because I need to push it over into a spot. See, I need to get him off there, but I need to be Aquaman. I want to push him. To the left. Okay. So now this is a different thing that gives me 3 lanes to go up and down without them interfering, right? And I can go there. I can go there. Okay, so now I can push Aquaman left when I want to, but I don't want to do that yet because I have to get rid of this block. But I want to get rid of this block by pushing it left. So this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Now, we go up here. We Aquaman. Whoops. We Aquaman. And GG's, bro. Ugh. All right. That might be enough for tonight. We got through the 2 levels that I was stuck on and then a 3rd level. And we're on the 2nd shelf. Tutorial complete, yeah. I'm not even going to think about this for now. It's a fun game. You could play it. This is the link. See, that one I liked because, like, you know, some puzzles you just can't figure out. You're like, I have no idea what to do. And those could be fun sometimes. I mean, The Witness was a lot about that kind of thing. But also when it's all brutally hard and you're like, I have no idea what to do, it can get, I don't know, a little bit intractable feeling. Whereas with that one, it was like, look, I kind of can see what would help me win. And let me see if I can get to that state. That was more doable for me on that puzzle than it has been on some of these. All right, it is my bedtime. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. See you later on in the future. In the future's future. That was because we didn't have E3. We didn't have a what's her name E3 presentation.